only part.
Okay, ready? Let's learn now. Let's talk about the Barry Puckett, whatever he is.
You know, we could get you a uniform and write it out in uniform.
Okay, everybody, let's roll on this. We were holding, I don't remember. I'm gonna finish this chapter.
That's it. Anything but your pay, I can do.
125.
God put it in front of me, I'm gonna eat it. Make a broth.
Anybody know what?
Page 8 here, the third half.
That is where we need it. Well, page 126 in the book, and we are, what'd you say? On page,
83rd paragraph.
okay, we're gonna go to, we're going to when everything seems to fail. Let's go to that paragraph. I'm about on page 9, okay?
Page 8.
When everything seems to fail, let's talk about failures, okay?
Felonies.
When everything goes okay, it's not a chachma. When everything is going okay, it's not a chachma. It's not a great trick to have emunah, to have a bitachon and emunah. When everything goes okay, even Moshe Rabbeinu says that when things go okay, you're going to forget God, because when everything goes okay, everybody thinks that they accomplish everything through their own successes. So therefore, really, bitachon is important when things fail, when things start to fail, and everything that we try doesn't go into reality. The truth is, if we don't have bitachon when things go okay, it's very hard for us to have bitachon when things fail, because when things fail, we blame God. Where is God? Where is God? Right? So we mean, where was God? Where was God when things were going good? If God's not there when things are going good, why should it be there when things are going bad? What is he? He's a troubled God. He's the God of tzaddis. Not only when things are going bad, we remember God. When things are going good, we don't need him. So that's why people think that tefillah, Chassidus says, tefillah doesn't mean prayer. Prayer means when you need something, so you pray to God. You know, I meet a Jew, I tell him, why I don't see you in shul? He says, everything is good. So what do I need to come to shul for? I don't need to come to shul. Everything is good. Nobody's sick. Everybody's healthy. We're making money. So why do we need to go to shul for? But tefillah means connection. Tefillah means that I connect to God, which is when it's good and when it's not good. I need to have the connection of HaKadosh Baruch Hu with good time and bad time. And when I show that I trust God in the good times, I mean, everything that happens to me is, even the good things that happen to me is really from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And therefore, in your prayers of everyday prayers, you thank God for success. You thank God for health, even though Baruch Hashem I'm healthy. I don't need a doctor, hopefully. So I thank God that the Eibusher gives me life. He gives me health. That I'm healthy today is not because because the Eibusher gave me health. That God has given me health today. So we have to thank God in the good times. And that everything that is good is because Baruch Hashem, God makes it that should be good. And then, if God forbid, it suddenly starts to go south, and things start to go negative, whether it's in health, whether it's in success, in parnasa, then also should pray to God that things should return or things should come back. But so that's what he starts over here. When everything seems to fail, when things seems to not be going in the right way, if he does not obtain his livelihood through those means in which he has put effort, if a person puts effort into something, into a certain product, and things are not going the way he wants it to go, And he's been praying, he's been davening. He should consider that perhaps his daily sustenance is already in his possession. Maybe it could be that that a person that the Eibishter has it by you in something else, in a whole different thing. I want to read you yesterday's statement of the Hayom Yom of the day-to-day of the Rebbe. In a second, I want to find it in English. So yesterday's Hayom Yom was as follows. Yeah, this is what the Yom Yom the Rebbe said. He said as follows. You listening?
Yeah.
Okay.
The previous Rebbe.
No, the Rebbe. Avodah for a businessman includes arousing within himself the faith and perfect trust in the one who feeds and sustains all flesh, that will provide him with an ample livelihood. He must truly be happy and cheerful, as though all his livelihood was already in hand. So he has to have bitachon that the money's in the bank, as they say.
Yeah.
There's no money in the bank, right? Things are bouncing, and nevertheless, a yid has to have bitachon that the Eibishter, if the Eibishter wants to give him the panah, it's already there already. Not it's going to be there. That's emunah. Emunah is what's going to be. That it's going to be good. Bitachon is that it's already good. You have $500 in the bank. That's what you need. $500. I have bitachon. That's all I need. $500. I just said you just to bounce a couple of checks. That's exactly what was needed. Everything is b'dei shamayim. Everything, as long as I did I tried my best. If I was laying in bed, then you can't blame God. But if I have bitachon, then I have bitachon. Whatever the Eibishter wants to give me is what I have and what I need today, and that's true bitachon. That's what the Rebbe said. So that it's already as though his livelihood is already in hand. That he's going to have a livelihood, but whatever, it's already there. Because if the Eibishter gave you the capability to make money in fashion A, there's a lot of other ways he can give you the parnasa. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, as they say, right? There's always another avenue. There's always another way that God can fulfill the needs of a person. And so too in his health. Don't put all your trust in one person, in one doctor. There's always another doctor out there. There's always a capability for another situation. Never ever say there's one situation in life. The Eibishter gives you a lot of avenues. It gives you a lot of avenues to choose from. Baruch Hashem. A lot of avenues. Never give up, right? Raise a punish year, and in an event, it's still fitting for him to be busy himself with the means that he could bring a livelihood to him. You know, I said there was a yid, there was a great person who said that when sunning a shidduch, which you can say the same thing, sunning everything. So the shidduch, the Eibishter partner, your wife, your spouse, if everybody's married here, Baruch Hashem, right? Right? But to those who are going on a shidduch, so this great rabbi said that everything, it says 40 days before you're conceived, you've already been told in heaven who are you going to marry, and what day you're going to get married, and what day you're going to date, and when do you say okay, right? You have to say okay, right? The woman has to say I marry you, right? It's a big special day. So that's been preordained. Everything's been preordained. So the question is, so what do I need a date? What do I need a date for? The answer is, because he said the answer is you shouldn't fall into yush. You shouldn't fall into no.
No.
You're asking us, you're the rabbi.
Rabbi in English. Yeah, I said it in Hebrew.
Despair.
What? Despair.
Despair.
Thank you very much.
But I have a question.
Fall into despair. Wait 1 second. Let me just get this point. Person should never fall into despair, right? He thinks, okay, you know what? Nobody's out for me. Therefore, the Abish says, go out and date. Right? And the truth is, you need to continue dating, right? You need to continue on dating. Well, even if you're married, right? Even those. No, you're on. No, I'm talking your wife and your husband. You got to continue dating her. Oh, shucks. But I can go date somebody else. You just killed the whole thing. You need to continue to date your spouse. You need to continue to date your spouse. Why? Because that's the problem. The second you stop dating, even your own spouse, the second you feel years, sometimes you feel 40 years. I'm stuck. This is what I'm stuck with. What did the Avish still want from me? This is my lot, so to say. No, you have to continue on dating. You have to, that's right, you have to continue, you don't have years. Right? Keep it fresh and date her. Date him. Whatever it is. Go on a date night. Even I think today, everybody says you have to have a date night. Right? You got to take your wife on a date night. Okay, see? So why? So this rabbi said, the Abish said, really? So you were stuck with her. In essence, you were stuck with him or with her, whatever who's stuck. You're stuck with each other from before you were conceived. You were stuck with each other, right? But in the world, they say, "Death do you part." You don't even in death you don't part. You're never getting rid of each other forever and ever and ever. So it's a forever lasting. She's going to chase you in Gan Eden. Yeah, it's never going to end. Or he's going to chase you, whatever. I'm not talking here. So the Abish, there's no hope. There's no hope. That's it. This is Bashed. That's the true meaning of Bashed. The Abish, and it goes to everything in life. No, but really in the things we struggle. What are the things we struggle with? Parnasa. We struggle with marriages, with relationships. These things that are stuck with us, that are seemingly a struggle that we struggle with in our life. And we have to realize that we have to have a tachan in the Abish that this is the person that I was supposed to be involved with from the beginning of time till the end of time. And therefore, not that to feel stuck with it, that's a sad situation. That's a sad existence. You need to date each other. That you need to, even though that this is Bashed, the Eibishter wanted a person shouldn't have yish. He shouldn't have what's the yish again? Despair. Shouldn't be in despair, right? So therefore, you need to date. If you're not married, you need to go out and date after date. And so too, when you're married, you need to keep on dating. You need to keep on going out on a date with your wife, and once a week, make believe like you're trying to court each other. You're trying to court each other. You're trying to get each other, right? It's not in the bag. It's never in the bag. It's not, I got married, but it's in the bag. Nothing's in the bag. You need to, the Abish is not in the bag either. Okay? God is not either. I got him. You don't got nothing. You need to acquire everything in life. Your parnasa, your marriage, your relation with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the relation with each other. Nothing's in the bag. Don't take anything for granted. That's a kfui tov. That's a person that takes things for granted is a kfui tov in Hebrew. I'm not, again, a word I need to explain. A kfui tov means somebody who has no gratitude, and is not gratitude in life. That's why by us, we every day we show gratitude to God, that we see, that we walk, that we talk, that we have health, that we have life, that we have each other. This is a concept of gratitude. It's an aspect that don't take it for granted. Oh, we quiet it now. We're with it. It is what it is. No, it's not what it is. It's a new acquirement. Every day is a new accomplishment. And that's how you're going to have a happy marriage. If every day it's a whole new marriage, it's a new thing. It's not something that you just have from the past. Yeah.
What happens?
Are you letting me ask a question? It's Jeannie, or is somebody else asking a question?
Eibishter has, why can't it be Bashartim 2 people? Why can't it be Bashartim 3 people? Why can't it be Bashartim 7 people? Where's their limit?
Dangerous territory here.
No, it's not dangerous territory. No, it's not. No, it's not dangerous territory. No. There's not dangerous territory because you should, the Torah gives the right to a divorce. Torah gives the right for divorce. It's not to death do you part. The Torah gives the right to divorce. Why? Why does Torah give the right to divorce? Because you should be happily married. Okay? Don't feel you're forced to be married. Get the unhappy. Why you need to live in unhappiness? What is this, a misery, a world of misery? You're gonna realize ultimately the Torah says you're gonna if you think that the life is green on the other side, you'll get married again and get divorced again because you have to find happiness in your marriage. Find happiness in your marriage. But if you're miserable, don't be married. There's no mitzvah to be married if you're miserable. And that's why the Torah gives a mitzvah to get divorced. It's a mitzvah. It's one of the mitzvahs of the Torah. Divorce is a mitzvah in the Torah. It's one of the positive commandments. So you should get divorced. Okay? Don't do that mitzvah. Okay? Not every mitzvah you have to do. There's some mitzvahs we can push off. But the Torah, why did the Torah have divorce? Because again, you should be happily married. And happily married means that not just say, oh, I'm married, this is it. No, they should be happy. Every day you should wake up and say, I'm happy to be married. And how are you going to say, I'm happy to be married? If you're going to work on your marriage, and we all know that. If you're going to some say, oh, God brought us together and we're stuck for life, then that's not a happy marriage. A happy marriage is that I'm truly happy to be with the person I'm married to. And therefore, I'm going to date her. That's the only way humans are happily married. If they think they got it, then they're not going to be happily married. If they pursue it, if they pursue their marriage, every day they feel like they're courting, even though they have 10 kids and they maybe have grandchildren already. If they feel that they're still courting, is that the right word? They're still dating their wife, they're going to be happily married. If they feel like they're still courting HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they'll be happily married to God. If they feel that, nothing, don't take things for granted. When I went on Shlichus, my father, of blessed memory, says, I'm going to give you one bracha that you should be successful as a rabbi, and that is, don't take things for granted. Don't take your balabatim for granted. Don't take the people that come to your shul for granted. Oh, they come, I can do whatever. No, don't take anybody for granted. Realize that everything you have in life is a gift. And every person that you have a relationship with is a gift. And then you're going to be successful. If you take it for granted, then you're going to have misery in your life. And it's true. It's very true. And that's when we take our spouse for granted, then we lose the spice of marriage because we take each other for granted. We think you got to be there and you're going to always be there and you always be there. No, I'm not going to be there. Yes, what's your question? Somebody has a question over here.
Yes, I have a question. I guess somebody asked the question is like if people are married more than once, what if they're not married at all? Does a boss call come out and say so-and-so is not going to get married?
Yeah. If you tried your best, then that's your journey. Like if you have people that don't have children in their life. What? This is the Eibishter wanted. The Eibishter wanted. The Eibishter wanted. You have to do your avodah. That's the point. You have to do your due diligence. You have to do your avodah. Not everything works out the way you wanted it to work out. It works out the way the Eibishter God wants it to work out. But if you come up to heaven and you say, "Oh, I slept in my bed all day. I didn't do anything. I waited for somebody to come. My knight in shining armor did not show up." Well, if you're going to wait for your knight in shining armor, he's never going to show up. Trust me. And usually the guy who shows up is not a knight in shining armor. That's it. So that's the way it goes. So don't wait for the knight in shining armor.
Wait,
And don't wait for the princess either.
what about So what I'm really asking you isn't like everything in life, you have to do your best and it's b'sher, if you've done your best, right? But what I'm really asking you is this idea that the boss call calls out or the voice calls out and says, so-and-so will marry so-and-so. So what happens, well, actually I have two questions. What happens if you don't get married? Does the boss call not say anything or what? And also, what about Gilgulim? Like we have different, how does that work? Like we could have been married in a past life, now we're not married. And by the way,
the first question, the first question, I don't know. Your first question is a gewaltige question, is an unbelievable question. It's a good question. And I don't know the answer to that question. We have to research it. Stump the rabbi. You got me in that one. So I said that a basko comes out from heaven. The Gemara says a voice comes out and says, Bas plane of the plane. Who's going to marry you? And your question is, so what happened to the basko? A person never got married. What happened to that basko?
What's a basker?
A voice. Bas koil, a voice. Where's your cheat sheet? So the basko comes out from heaven. The voice comes out from heaven and says, who's going to marry? It's a good question. And I don't know the answer. Okay, maybe he didn't say who's going to marry who. That's number one. Number two is I say this again. A lot of people don't get married. I'm not here challenging anybody, but a lot of people don't get married, not because not because of any reason, but for their own self. For whatever reason, they decide not to get married because they decided nobody's good enough for them. And that's possible. They decided on their own mishigasin why they cannot get married. So that you cannot blame in the baska. Again, I'm not judging anybody, but I've met a lot of people, single people, who the reason that they're not getting married is not because the pasha didn't work hard on getting married, because they have their own complications and their own thought process that's not getting them married. And not only you can blame that on a baska. You can't blame the baska. You can blame it on themselves. That for whatever reason, they're their own personal reason not getting married. So if you have your question only stands if a person tried hard and it's totally out of his hands that he could not, for whatever reason, get married. And that I don't know the answer to that question.
Can you change a decree like that?
100%. So it says like you can come to shul and scream out Ami Hey Shmei Rabba. That's why you come and scream there, and it breaks the decrees of 70 years of 70 passages. Interesting. You said Gilgulim. That's your second question, Gilgul. So that's why it's interesting. I just said it says when the Shulchan Aruch says that when you scream out Amen Yehei Shmei Rabba in Kaddish, actually you should know that's in the Shulchan Aruch, Code of Jewish Law. It says the most important thing in davening is to hear Kaddish, to answer Amen on Kaddish, and you should try to hear every day. I think 7 Kaddishim every day. A person should hear 7 Kaddishim a day. If you come to Chabad Shul, they say in Shachar over 7 Kaddishim, but over the day you should hear 7 Kaddishim and answer 7 times on the 7 Kaddishim all the Amens, because that's the holiest part of prayer is the Kaddish. The Kaddish that's said in Shul, and in the Kaddish, there's one expression over there. You say Amen Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevarach Li'olam Ma'omel Maya Yisbarich, right? The whole congregation says that. Besides saying Amen, they say Amen Yehei Shmei Rabba, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what it means.
Good. Okay. So Amen Yehei Shmei Rabba Yehei Shmei, may the name of God be Rabba, great. La'olam, la'omei, Maya, from ever and ever, Yisbarech, may he be blessed. The Gemara says, whoever says, Amei Yehei Shmei Rabba, this statement, B'chol koiche, with all his strength, he breaks the decree for over 70 a year. Guy, what does it mean if the guy is 70, what 70 years? And I'm not 70. The point is that it goes back to Gugulim. It's brought down. It goes back to the previous. It's the decrees of previous generations. So if a person says Amei Yehei Shmei Rabba with all his strength, Chokref means that doesn't mean all the strength, doesn't mean he screams with all the strength. It means that he says it with all his strength, with all his kaya. He breaks decrees of 70, 80 years. So you should know, you asked the question, the whole concept of prayer is Yehi Rotzain. Put down a Chassidus in Kabbalah that when a Jew prays, he can create a new Rotzain, he can create a new will in heaven. That's the power of prayer. Prayer creates a new will. Whatever the will of the heaven was in the past, I can create a new avenue, a new will in so to say, in God. It's a very powerful thing, the concept of prayer. We shouldn't take it lightly. That's why people struggle with prayer, especially Jews, especially religious Jews. Struggle with prayer, right? Make it more singable music, and you come to an Orthodox show, and you come to an Orthodox show, it sounds a little dry.
No, not this.
Yeah.
But
I'm serious.
it has a ruach and a lot of talking. But there's a ruach of talking in the show, and people talk during davening, and people walk around during davening. Right, and in between them we have joy. But majority people are walking and talking, and it's brought down in the Gemara. It says because the power of prayer is so strong that the other side, the evil inclination, is fighting when it comes to prayer. It doesn't want you to pray. It doesn't want you to pray. It doesn't want you to accomplish what you were supposed to accomplish in prayer. And it wants to, as much as possible, to disrupt the aspect of this concept. So, because you imagine that you have something that God has given to humanity, the power of prayer to have a transformation power, to be able to create a whole new rotzen, a whole new will, purpose. So you have the opposite that tries to destroy prayer. There's too much noise in the show. There's too much distractions going on over here, right? There's too much distractions. But that shows you on the power of it, that when there's more distractions, is because it's a powerful thing, and therefore you should not fall into the thing. Say, oh, I'm not going to come to shul. It's too much distraction. I'll daven at home, because this is where the power is, in the Beis HaKnesses, in the shul. In the house of prayer is where the prayers are accomplished. Is where this. Well, how did I get to that? I don't know, but
Supply to women, like when you're saying the decree of 70 years and Yeheshme Rabbah and all that. I mean, women are not required to be in shul and hear 7 Kadishim, are they?
Women, no negative decrees on women.
What is that?
I just made that up, but
I like it. No, so how does all what you're saying? It seems like it's applying to men. How do women relate to what you just said?
I truly, women are not obligated to come to shul, really, and that's really an obligation of man to come to shul. The women should come to shul, and they should be part of this davening. But really, the obligation on transformation is really on the man, and it's his obligation. And that's why the Gemara says that where the women receive their reward is by sending their husbands to shul, is by making sure the husbands go to shul and inspiring them to go to shul, because they have the mitzvah. A woman has it without the coming to shul. She has the mitzvah already. So her prayers are actually, that's why it's good that women come to shul, because their prayers are much more powerful than men. They're not obligated to come, and they come on their own volition. They can accomplish more in a way. So the power of women, the power of children coming to shul is also very powerful. Tefillah of children is also a powerful thing. The Gemara says, even though they're not obligated to come to shul either, but the power of children, the whole decree of of Purim was through the power of the tefillah of children. So it's the opposite. So you have a greater concept, and you can accomplish it maybe without even coming to Shul. You can accomplish it.
You're talking about saying hearing 7 Kaddishes or
that's a
or sending your husband to Shul, which you may not have a husband to send to Shul. Like what? How does all of this, when we don't fit into that, people don't fit into that criteria that you're describing, what about that?
I didn't say don't fit into it. I never said that word.
What
said
word?
That I'm obligated. I didn't say you don't fit in the criteria. That's it.
I know, but you're saying if you go here 7 Kaddishes, then it wipes away 70 years of something
No,
from a.
I said if you say
I'm asking.
Shmei Rabba.
Yehei Shmei, yes.
From
So what if
Mevarach
you
Yalam
don't-
Ha'om
so women-
Yamayim.
Here's 7. Men who daven with the minyan hear it, but women don't hear it.
See, so women can do it without it. So you can do it without it. If you're not obligated, you can do it without it. That's it.
Ah,
You can do it
okay.
without it. So you can do it without it, Baruch Hashem.
So that's a general concept that if you're not
Women can do it
obligated.
without it.
you
Yeah,
can do
women
without
are
it?
much. Bini is saying it to be Isha. A greater, deeper understanding was given to a woman, and she can accomplish things without all these trappings and all these obligations that a man has to do. Yeah, that's what it says. I don't know. I'm not a woman, what should I tell you? I'm a man. I can tell you what a man needs to do. A woman, you got to talk to my wife. Maybe I'll help you out. But the Gemara, the halacha says, when a woman, the Torah doesn't obligate you to do something, that you're not then it means that you can accomplish it without it. It's like the Gemara says, a man goes to shul. Why is a man obligated to go to shul? A shul is like a hospital. It's like a hospital, right? Because we go to shul for the sins of the golden calf. It all started from that, and that's why we have a shul. So we're going to the hospital to fix things that are not good. A woman is not sick. So when she comes to shul, she's coming to visit the men that are in the hospital. So it's a mitzvah to visit the sick. So it's the other side of the mechitza that needs to have help. And the other side of the mechitza are in the sick bay. And the women are there to help out the sick guys on the other side of the mechitza. So they both, right? So the guys come because they're obligated to come because they need to have help. And the women come to inspire the men. Because the truth is, let me tell you something, this show, if the women wouldn't come, the men wouldn't come either. So the women have to bring the men to the hospital, and that's it. But the women don't need to be in the hospital. Baruch Hashem, they're all
Beautiful sight, yes.
Baruch Hashem.
So if the women are there to visit if the women are there to visit the men in the hospital, why don't the men get to see them during the service?
Because they'll forget that they're in the hospital if they saw the women. So they would not remember that they're there to pray to the Eibishter. They think they're there because they're there to sit next to their beautiful wife. But they're there to get help. The men are there to get help. They need help. The women are there to remind the men that they're there to get help. And that's it. Okay. I don't know. Hopefully that will answer your question.
Not intensive care, just their own room.
Baruch Hashem, we're not so sick, the men, but we
You have some rules for intensive care.
yes, we have some people that are intensive care, yeah, but whatever.
Go to the psych ward.
That's the way it is. No, that's it. We come tefillas Kabbalah. No, I'm not making this up. That's not made up. We're here. Men come to daven because they need to rectify something, and we're here to rectify things from the past, from Gugulim in the past, on our own rectification. And that's why we were obligated not to come once a day. We're obligated to come 3 times a day to daven. We're not obligated to come only on Shabbos to daven. We're obligated to come every day to daven. And it's not a Rosh Hashanah like a lot of Jews. You come Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur, you have to come 365 days. The shul is working here 365 days. Every day in the morning and the afternoon, men have to come here and to daven. It's an obligation of their obligation to rectify things. Women are not obligated to do that. And because they have nothing to rectify, Baruch Hashem, they're not here in the world to do that. They're here in the world to develop, to give birth, to do actually new things. Not for the past. Women are here to do major developments in the future, and that's what the women are here to do. So that's why they're not obligated to do that, but they can do it. Nobody stops. So, a woman can put on tefillin. A woman can put on tzitzis. You can look at Shulchan Aruch. They can do that too. They can do whatever they want. They can do every mitzvah they want. Nothing is stopping them from doing anything. They do everything they want, whether they're obligated or not obligated. They're much higher level than any man in this situation. That's true. So a woman, that analogy I gave of a hospital is not a joke. It's true, and that's true. The man comes to because he's coming to rectify. It's like a hospital, and the women are here to they're not in the hospital. She just shouldn't feel that way. A woman that feels she has to come to daven, in essence, feels that she's missing something like a man, and she's not.
So if a woman
imagine a person says, you know what? I'm jealous of the people in the hospital. I'm going to go and book myself into a hospital because I'm jealous of other people in the hospital. Why should I should be sick like them? Which person thinks that way? I should be sick like them. Which woman should want to be like a man? Oh, I'm sick like a man. Why would a woman want to do that? Why would any woman want to think that way? I'm going to, they're sick. I'm sick too. No. We need help. I'm going to be there to support them in their recovery. I'll be there to support them in their recovery, and hopefully by supporting that, and that's what the Gemara says. The Gemara says when a woman makes sure that her husband goes to shul, in supporting him in his recovery, she gets benefits. It's self-understood, because a healthy man is a happy house, a happy wife is a happy life, and a happy husband, a healthy husband and a successful husband is a successful marriage too. So we both need to be happy and healthy. Okay, whatever. I don't know how we got into this whole thing, but we need all the things. We need okay, weiter fun. Ready? We were holding. I lost my place.
One sentence further.
One sentence further. In any event, it's still fitting for him to be busy himself with the means which brings him his livelihood. He should not lax from pursuing them, provide that they are fitting for his character traits. His physical strength, his faith in this world comes as a preface. So you should know that the Arizal writes that all success of a man in his life comes from his wife. All success from a husband, all his success comes through his wife. I always tell my wife, no, I'm doing a lousy job. Must be something wrong with you because I can't make a living. So all the brachas come from your wife. It all comes from your wife. Everything, that's what Jesus says. So it all comes from your wife because she's the one who brings you your blessings in your life. Combined with this, but a person has to go. So you need, in essence, you need the bracha and you need the avodah. If you need to go out and do the job, but the bracha for the job comes from the Yebush that goes through your wife. Combined with this efforts, you should rely on the Almighty, that he will not forsake him in his time of need, not weaken him, not ignore him with misfortune befalls him. As it says, the Lord is good and a stronghold on day of trouble, and cognizes in those who trust him. Right? So therefore, ultimately, all my success is birchas Hashem hitasha. All my success, all my efforts is pasha, the bracha of the Eibishter is a thanks to God that I am successful. So too we'll see regarding the health and illness. It's incumbent upon a person to rely on the Creator regarding this. But he also is obligated to make every effort for his continued health, using those means which naturally assists a person to remain healthy and to heal himself from disease in a manner which people customarily use to heal one's disease. Go to a doctor, as the Creator had commanded, and he shall surely be healed. V'rapa yirapa means the Gemara says, what is the meaning of the statement, and he shall be surely healed? You should go to a doctor, and you should find a doctor that heals you. If one doctor doesn't help you, go to another doctor, go to a third doctor, go to a fourth doctor. You should continue on your search to heal. Never give up, never have yish in your health. Always try to find another way of healing. The special in the Gemara is, Harba shluchim lamakim. There are many messengers to the Abish. He doesn't have only one malach. He doesn't only have one messenger. He doesn't only have one doctor. There are other doctors in the world, Baruch Hashem. And you should try never to say, you know what, finished, I'm done. This doctor told me it's over. I can't help you. He is the doctor of the world. No, there's another doctor out there, and go and find another doctor. There's only one God, but there's many doctors. There's only one God, but there's many ways of making a parnasa, many ways of making a livelihood. And so too in anything in life, and anything in the physical life, there are many, many kind of ways of accomplishing something. You should know, I saw something last week, and it's amazing, but you're going to go through Leviticus. Everybody know the karbonis, sacrificial offering. There's many sacrifices, many different kinds of sacrifices. If you listen to Parshas, you'll see there's many sacrifices, every crazy thing that a person might do in this world, right? What? Your thoughts, your way, and the way there's so many sacrifices. And that's why it's a big book, Leviticus. That you'll see throughout the book of Leviticus, especially when it talks about sacrifices, it only uses the name of God, Yud Kei Vav Kei, which I mentioned last week. It's only 5 times in the book of Leviticus it uses the other name of God, Elikim. And even so, why? Because even though there are many sacrifices and many kinds of negatives in this world, but when it comes to God, there's only it uses the name of God, which is infinite. Yud Kei Vav Kei, the tetragram, which we don't mention, we don't say. It doesn't use Elikim, which is the plural name, Elikim, which is Gevura, which name of God of severity. It always uses, and when I saw that last week, this statement, who said it, I thought, you read the Parsha, you'll see always mentioned in Yud Kei Vav Kei in the Parsha. It always mentions Yud Kei Vav Kei, which is unusual. Because usually, in other books, you'll see the Torah fluctuates between Yud Kei Vav Kei and Elikim. Because the Torah wants to say that even though in the aspect of sin and karbonis and many different, but it's still the concept of the oneness of God. You can never lose that concept in our lives. That ultimately everything in the multiplicity of life, in the different ways I make my parnasa, in the different doctors, and as we get older, we have a lot of doctors, and we visit a lot of different doctors, a lot of medications, and never forget that there's one God who runs the world. One God who runs in this multiple world, in this multiplicity of life, in the chaos that we seemingly see we're in, there's still one Eibishter, there's still one God that is controlling and basically is orchestrating this whole multiple world. And that's B'tachon. That's B'tachon in the Eibishter. That's the concept, that's the true concept of B'tachon in the Eibishter. Because many of us have many facets in our life, whether it's health and financial and family. You think about how many issues that we go through on a daily, day-to-day basis. In our own personal lives, we go through a lot of issues, a lot of problems, and we might have doctors or psychiatrists for each and every problem that we have in life. But we should never forget that there's one God that is orchestrating all this situation. That's the B'tachon the Eibishter. The Eibishter says, good, I need parnasa, you're giving parnasa when you with all your problems, Baruch Hashem, I I give a lot of parnasa to doctors and to pharmacists and to every person's an industry of the world. You know how much people get parnasa? They say that once a chassid went to a doctor and the doctor told him he has to buy, you know, these kind of pills, and then he took all the pills and he poured it down the sink.
Oh,
So he said, so why did you do that? He says, listen, everybody got to make a living. The doctor got to make a living. The pharmacist got to make a living, and I got to live. So everybody got to make a living. You have parnasa. Everybody got to make a living. Everybody got to make a living. Say a story to Chavetz Chaim that once he had a letter and he was going to send it by mail, but then a Yid came to me and said, you know what, I'm going, I see you have this letter, you're sending, I'll deliver it, right? So he took out of a closet, he said, okay, and then he put a stamp on it. He said, I'm going to deliver, why are you putting a stamp? He says, no. Steal from the post office. I can't steal from the post office. And even though I'm going to give it to you to I can't steal from the post office. I got to put it in the mail. I got to pay for the stamp. I got to give the government their money, even though you're going to deliver this. That's everybody has to make a parnasa. I have a mishigas. My father instilled in me this mishigas. Was that when you go into a store, you got to buy something. Right? You gotta buy something, right? So even though you're going, right, you gotta buy something.
You can't
right?
steal
the person who came into the store. He's hoping for a sale. Then you walk out. You're touching everything. You walk out. You gotta buy something.
Right.
So therefore, even if you're gonna buy a dollar thing, you walk out, buy something. I have this mishigas. I don't know. Keep on doing that also. I buy something. You have to buy something, right? Because the person you walked into the store, the person thought, oh, Machaya, he got some parnas, and then you walked out. You're shopping. What do they call it? Site shopping. You know,
window shopping.
Window shopping. But halacha is a problem with window shopping. If a person thinks he's going to get a sale, it's Geneva's das. It goes into the question of Geneva's das, stealing from somebody.
I hope you don't go into too many car dealerships.
I don't. No, I don't think ultimately I'm saying no, but I try. You buy something. So you go into the store, buy something. So the person give parnasa, the person that you walk into the store. Don't just go there. And the guy thinks he's going to get something and you walk out. Oh, whatever. I told you got to do that. I told you it's a mashigas. I said it's my craziness. But it's a craziness I inherited from my father, bless him memory. He had this thing. Yeah.
You don't walk into many Jews.
I try to stick away from that. Yes.
There's another quote from your father, Shalom, that he said, a man who was doing not good things, he said, don't let a bad experience color the rest of your life.
Yeah. You know, okay. Now you're getting into the ultimate thing. Let's go weiter. We should always be like our parents that can give their children something that they can live with the rest of their lives. Understand? My father and mother, blessed memory, George is coming up in 2 weeks. You know, didn't have any financial success. Rich people. Didn't leave any inheritance of money, but they left an inheritance of more valuable, wisdom, more than money, right? They left inheritance, right? Wisdom, which is more than money.
Yeah.
However, we can do that to our children, to give our children not physical possessions, but spiritual concepts, you know, ethics, morals, and be able to repeat their mishigasim, you know? The Mishigasan, that was Kedusha, he did it because the Taka didn't want, he did it for the right reason. the concept of not making a person to feel that he was being taken advantage of, but hoping to get a sale and got nothing. So we should do that. We should do those things and do the same things, whatever. Okay. The gift, yeah. No, it's just why is there such thing as Genevas das? Why does such thing in halacha Genevas das? Geneva is stealing from somebody, right? In Torah, you're not allowed to steal from somebody. The Shulchan Aruch says you're not allowed to steal his das. You're not allowed to steal his knowledge, right? When a person thinks you're going to do something for them, right? Because you intimated it, right? You intimated. And then you don't do it. So you're stealing their das, you're stealing their knowledge. You can't go to court and Genevas das. You can't take somebody to court, even in Jewish law, you can't take somebody to court because I thought you're going to do something, you didn't do it. You can take a person to court when you stole money, right? But still, it's Geneva. In Torah, it's a form of stealing by intimating you're going to do something and not to do it, because that's called Genevas das. So even if I intimated to you or you to me, I'm going to do something for you, and then I want to show up. You gone it for me in a little way. You stole from me something. You stole my das. The truth is that in a way, Genevas das, stealing each other's das, is more a reality in life than stealing somebody's money. Most of us are not ganovim, hopefully. You're not pickpocketing people. But we do Genevas das. We do this thing of stealing each other's mind. We intimate that we are good friends, and then we're not there when we need you. Whatever, we're not there for each other, right? But you intimated and showed that I'll be there whenever you need me. I love you. I can't live without you. And then suddenly you can live without me. So we do Genevas das. We should be careful with that because it's much deeper. The Genevas das is much more deeper. It's more than stealing from somebody. And the truth is that according to Kabbalah, that we have a relation, we meet each other, or that we come into a store and some that person that I'm going to help him. That's hashgacha pratis. That is divine providence that we came into each other's life. Mm-hmm. It's not that we just met each other by mistake. That we have a relation. That's why when it's broken, it's much more deeper than the money. That sort of when because when I left the store, I didn't buy anything. I didn't steal anything. I didn't buy anything. Well, I don't have to buy. I don't have to buy something I don't want to buy. But that person felt that, well, you're going to help me. You hashgacha pratis. You walked into the store, that you're going to help me. You're going to be there for me, and you weren't there for me. It's something. Or you say cook nicht, man darf nicht. We're not supposed to look. Cook nicht. Cook was another expression. Cook nicht, man darf nicht. You're not supposed to look. If you looked at something, then you needed it. So cook nicht, man darf nicht. Don't. It's only after 11 o'clock. Combined with his efforts, he should rely. Yeah, we did this right. The Lord, yeah, so too. Will we say regarding we did this regarding the effort to combine health, right. However, he should do so without relying on cause of health or illness that they themselves have the ability to aid him or harm him unless the Creator allows me. Ultimately, at the same moment, you shouldn't think, oh, the doctor is my savior. Doctor is my messenger, is the messenger, right messenger. The medicine is the right messenger, hopefully. When a person relies on the Creator, he will heal him from his illness, either through the natural means in which a person engages, or otherwise, as it says until he will send forth his word and he will heal them. It's possible that the Almighty will heal him using a substance which is nature is very harmful. As well known the story of Elisha, the prophet, the harmful waters which causing the people to be ill, and the Almighty remedied it with the water of salt, which natural harmful things, water as it stated, and the water is bad, and its land is unproductive. So the story, that's why we have the story of the prophets. Elisha, the king came to him and he told him to dip himself in salt water and drink salt water. These are harmful situations, and he was healed. So therefore, you see that the healing is from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The healing is from God. That's why healing in general, you take medicine, you don't make a bracha on medicine. Medicine tastes disgusting. You don't make a bracha on medicine. You don't make a bracha on salt. Why? Because these are harmful things. You don't make a bracha on harmful things. Medicine is a harmful thing, especially medicine. Medicine is a harmful thing. Why would you? Because it's supposed to heal you, right? So you don't make a bracha on it, even though it heals you, because it's not a tasteful thing. So you have to mix medicine, but usually medicine is not a tasteful. Who take medicine? Who enjoys taking medicine? You hope that that's the shtias. You see, actually, it's interesting that medicine, which is tasteful, most of the time, it's something that tastes disgusting. Something like mashka tastes disgusting. Who likes to drink mashka?
Next.
No, it's just most. You ever saw Hamadi drink mashka and he smiles? I never saw a person smile yet by drinking mashka. Usually they're making faces when they drink mashka.
What's mashke?
Whiskey. Who likes to drink whiskey?
Vodka.
You'd like to drink Coke. Who likes to drink vodka? Vodka tastes good. I never saw a vodka that tastes good yet. It's like, because mashke is supposed to be used like a medicine. Not supposed to be used as a. If you like mashke, you got a problem. You have an alcoholic problem. That's not usual. Then you gotta go to AA, whatever. You gotta go Alcoholic Anonymous. But if you don't like mashke, and you shouldn't like mashke, and you're taking it for another reason, not because you like it, L'chaim, to take away the edges of the animalistic soul, and to reveal what? Relax yourself, to be more open. Nichnas yayin yotza soid. When you drink yayin, comes out these soid. You better have a good soid, but it comes out the hidden. If you have a lot of dirt hidden, then you shouldn't take mashka, because your negative is going to be revealed. So hopefully, if you're going to take mashke, you'll be able to reveal your true beauty that you have within you. Then that's like taking the medicine that reveals the healing that's within you. It reveals really what does the medicine do? It reveals something that you have within you, right? No. It was l'chaim. We don't call it mashke. It's l'chaim. It's l'chaim. So to bring out life. It's not to bring out. If the mashke brings out negative, you shouldn't take it negative. You should have mashke. If mashke brings out, and most people talk it brings out negative. They become drunk. They become bad. They become aggressive. They do negative. So why are you drinking mashke? Ugly words come out of their mouth. So you need don't drink mashke. If you drink mashke and suddenly you're going to flow Torah, godliness is going to flow from you, then you should drink mashke. So mashke has a double sword situation. Like medicine, if you're not sick, you should take medicine. It's gonna have a negative effect in you. Right. If you're sick, you should take medicine. So medicine has a double sword. If you're sick, you shouldn't take medicine. If you're sick, you should take medicine. If you're not sick, you shouldn't take medicine. If you're a healthy person, take mashke. If you're an unhealthy person, then you shouldn't take mashke, because mashke is going to make you more unhealthy. Everything has a positive and a negative in life. Money. It says that the Rebbe Rashab says there are three things that affect a person in his life in an open way. Money makes a person meshuggah. Mashke makes a person drunk, and the Torah should refine a person. So you find a person that drank mashke and he's not drunk, give him more mashke, he'll get drunk. Right? If you find a person that has money, he's not mishuga, give him more money. He'll see he'll ultimately come mishuga. Eventually he'll go nuts. He'll think that he's God's gift to the world. And if a person has learned Torah and is not refined, that means he has to learn more Torah. He has to learn more Torah. The proof is he hasn't learned enough, or he hasn't learned it correctly. If he learned it correctly, let's finish this to the end. Similarly, the Jewish people in the Mara had water to drink because the water was so bitter. So what did God say in the Torah? Take a piece of wood and throw it into water. Like that's going to help. The Lord instructed him concerning a piece of wood which he cast into the water, and wow, a miracle happened. The water turned sweet. Why all these stories? And so too you find in the story of likewise in Yeshua, it says, let them take a cake of pressed figs and lay it on the plaster, on the boils, and it will heal. All these crazy stories. You know, as mentioned in the third chapter, that inspired the king of Asa, king of Judah, who was ill, relied on the doctors to heal him, and he let go of his trust in the Almighty, and how he was chastised for it. Similarly, scripture states, for he who brings pain and binds it, he wounds his hands and heals it. We say it every day in our davening. We ask God for healing every day in our prayers. And even though we go to a doctor and we take medication, we ask the Eibishter that the medication and the doctor should be the right messenger to bring out his healing, because ultimately the Eibishter is the healer of the world. The Eibishter, God, is the one who brings healing to every single one of us. May God bring healing to the world. May God bring peace to the world. May God bring tranquility to the world. And may we all have a wonderful and beautiful week. And have a tachan in the Eibishter. I wish you all the best of luck.